hope you make sure you get your work in a correct manner. Let us not forget to sanitize our hands. Make sure your hand is sanitized and keep the social distance by stretching. And I thank you and goodbye.
Hi everyone, I'm Shashi. And Simon says don't touch your face, your eyes, your nose, and your mouth unless your hands are super clean. Bye!
We are still busy with trigonometry, and the last thing that you've learned was the sine rule, where we said a over sine A is equal to b over sine B. Now today we're introducing a new one, which we call the cosine rule. Now let's just go back on what we said in the beginning. If this is triangle ABC, then this is side A, B, and C. The small letter is opposite the angle. Now the cosine rule says A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine A. And you will see there's always this correlation. This is the side that you want, and that is the angle that you're going to use that. When are we using the cosine rule? We use the cosine rule when we want the third side. That is when you're going to use this cosine rule. And if you look here, you will also see that it is two sides and the included angle that we need to calculate that third angle there. Now, I would like you just to look on page 471, and this is then try now 31. And this is just to find the sides and write the sides. So we're just looking at that now, number A. So you have the triangle DEF, DEF. And we have to label now the sides and the angles. So this will be E, this will be D, and this will be F, so that we just have those sides there. So for instance, if I want to calculate E squared now, it will be F squared plus D squared minus in brackets 2FD cosine, and it's always back to this one, cosine E, cosine E. Number B, PQR, it looks like this, PQR. So if we label the sides, this is side P, this is side R, this is side Q. we can calculate any one now here. Let's say q squared, then it will be p squared plus r squared minus in brackets 2p r cosine q. Always coming back to that angle then there. And the last one there, number C, there's the triangle. R is T. So what will the sides be? This is what we want to find now. This is R, this is S, and this is T. Let's say you want to calculate T, then T squared is equal to R squared plus S squared minus 2 times R times S cosine T, coming back to that angle. And the side, that's the one that you want to calculate. Right, now we're looking at try now 32. Try now 32. We'll have to make the sketches. There are no sketches there, and you won't understand if you don't sketch it. So the first one then there, we've got that triangle there, KMR. So this is KMR. And what information do we have? We have that M is 47.2 degrees. That's given. And we know that Km is 5 centimeters, MR is 6 centimeters, and this is now what we need to calculate. Can you see that it is the third side? The cosine rule is for the third side. So I can say now that KR squared is equal to, so now we're going to take those sides, 5 squared plus 6 squared, minus in brackets 2 times 5 times 6, and cosine, can you see the side and the angle is opposite each other, cosine 47.2 degrees. Okay, don't skip steps. It's good that you will first write the next ones down, because this question usually counts 4 marks, and if you just give answers and it's wrong, then you get no marks. So in the first place, we substitute. Then I can say now here that 25 plus 36 minus, and now we have to get a value there in the brackets. So we use our calculators, and it's then 2 times 5 times 6 cosine 47.2 is equal to, and I got now there 40.766. Don't round off in that step. Go for 5 significant figures. We will round off in a final answer, because otherwise we're going to get wrong answers. Right, so in the next step, it will now be 25 plus 36 minus 40.766 is equal to, and there I have 20.234. But now remember, we want KR. So to get rid of that square, we will root this value. You will square root that one. And the answer is then, for that one, 4.5. There's that one. So it counts 4 marks. It's then worth it to put these steps in here. That is where you will get your 4 marks then there. Right, that's number A. Right, I think you should listen to another one, and then you can try them on your own. So we'll have to draw the triangle again, PQR. PQR. Angle R is 32 degrees. PR is 1.4 meters. And QR 2.2. And we want to calculate the third side. That is what you want to calculate. Can you see the 2 sides? The 2 sides and the included angle? That is what we want. we want the third side. So this is then going to be PQ squared is equal to 1.4 squared plus 2.2 squared minus, and now there in brackets it will be 2 times 1.4 times 2.2 cosine 32 degrees. I put this in brackets here on purpose because we can also get negative values here, and then some of you tend to forget that that is a negative which we have to use. So let's start there. 1.4 squared plus 2.2 squared is equal to, so I have 6.8 minus, now we're going to get this value here. It is then 2 times 1.4 times 2.2 cosine 32 is equal to, and I have here 5.2239. As we say, don't round off there, that's too soon. We'll have to go further there. Right, so the next step is then 6.8 minus that 5.2239. I got here 1.5761. Now we want to calculate PQ. This was PQ squared. Now we want PQ. So we're going to get the square root of that value. And the answer is then, I have 1.2554. We round off to 3 significant figures. So the rounded off answer will be 1.26. It is a good idea to first write down the unrounded one, because you often need this in a B or a C question, and then you have to redo it again. So first write the unrounded one, and then you round off. That is a helpful hint on these sums. Right, so the next one. Number C. Number C. So it is triangle ABC this time. Triangle ABC. A is 8, which is now this one. Let's just first label them again. This is A, this is B, this is C. So A is 8, C is 6. No, sorry, C is 6. So there's the 6. And angle B is 63 degrees. Again, 2 sides, and the included angle, you want the third side there. Find that B. So B squared is equal to 8 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 8 times 6 cosine 63 degrees. Right, so now we do it step by step. 8 squared is 64, 6 squared is 36, minus, and there we need to get that value there in the bracket. 2 times 8 times 6 cosine 63. And I have here 43.583. At least 5 significant figures there. So the next step is now we want B, so we're going to add this and then square root it. So 64 plus 36 is 100 minus 43.583, and I have here 56.417. And now we get the root of that one, the square root of your answer, and my answer is 7.5111, and I round it off to 3 significant figures, 7.51. Well done if you got it right. The next one is number D. So this is triangle PQR. PQR, we have to draw it to understand which one is which one. Now, so this is Q, this is P, this is R. They say R is 6 millimeters, P is 7 millimeters, and Q is 101 degrees. This is now an obtuse angle that we have there, and that will play a role. It's important. So I'm going to say that Q squared, this is the one that you want to calculate, is then 6 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 6 times 7 cosine 101. Now, this is an obtuse angle. And if you think back about cost, then you will remember that in the second quadrant where cosine is obtuse, if I draw the picture now here of cost, in the second quadrant here where I get the obtuse angle, there's my obtuse angle, cosine is negative in this quadrant. So I'm going to get here a negative value. That is what it means by implication. So Q squared is then equal to 36 plus 49. Now let's get that value now in that bracket. So it is 2 times 6 times 7 cosine 101. And I got negative 16.0279. Look at the negative. We shouldn't throw that away now. This is an obtuse angle, and that makes the difference then there. So the next step is then 36 plus 49. And now a negative times a negative is a positive 16.0279. So I have here in my root now 101.0279. Let me just check if that one is right. 36 plus 49 plus 16.0279. Yeah, it gives us the same answer. And then we root it. You square root that one. The answer and the final answer is 10.051. This rounds off to 10.1 centimeters. Good. Well done. Now we're moving to exercise 33. And we have a little bit more of word sums here now. Try now. 33. Page 473. Page 473. In the diagram, so we have a sketch. Let's just redraw it to follow. So P, Q, R, and S. This one is 7. This one is 10. The angle is 62 degrees. And this is a parallelogram, which means my opposite sides will be equal. And I also can work with my angles here, and I will know that this angle will be 118 degrees because I have those parallel lines, co-interior angles there. Now they say find the length of the diagonal QS. That's what we have to calculate now in the first place, QS. Can you see that this is the third side in the right angle triangle? So I can say that QS squared is equal to 10 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 10 times 7 cosine, and this is this angle here, 62 degrees. So this is 100 plus 49, and now we have to get that value inside the brackets. 2 times 10 times 7 cosine 62 is equal to, and I have 65.726. So now we add it here. We want to calculate QS. So we're going to root the value answer that you got now there. 100 plus 49 minus 65.726. So here I have 83.274, And in a final step, we get the square root of that answer, which is 9.1254. That's what I get. Rounding off to 3 significant figures, and it will be 9.13. There's your answer for that one. But there's also a B part, and now they want us to calculate PR. So this is this diagonal. Those two diagonals are not equal. We have now to calculate another angle there. Now this is where we're going to use this 118 degrees, because it means this angle here is 118 degrees. In the parallelogram, opposite angles are equal. We want to calculate PR now. Obviously this one is also 7 because it is a parallelogram. So I can say that PR squared is equal to 7 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 7 times 10 cosine, and now we use 118 degrees, which is again an obtuse angle. So 49 plus 100, and then in the bracket there, 2 times 7 times 10 cosine 118 degrees, and I have, it should be a negative now again. We'll have a negative value there because of that obtuse angle there. So it's negative 65.726. So PR is equal to, I need to get the square root there. So it's 49 plus 100 plus a negative times a negative is a positive. 65.726 is equal to 214.726, and getting the root of the answer is 14.6535, and to 3 significant figures, if we round it off there, it will round off to 14.7 centimeters for that one. So this is the cosine rule. Very important work. It is in every paper. They're going to ask you this question. Today we're looking then at the sine rule. This is now when we work in any triangle, the sine rule. And as we said in the previous lesson, the first thing that you need to understand is that in a triangle, if this is triangle ABC, then this is side A, this is side B, and this is side C. That's the first very important fact that we need to know, and what we're going to use here. Now, we can use the sine rule to find angles or the sides. And you will use this one if you have two opposite ones. So the angle and the side, and another angle and a side. Or it might be C as well. So the rule says A over sine A is equal to B over sine B. But it doesn't matter now, it might be C as well. Two sides and two opposite angles. The one that you want to calculate is the one that we're going to put in the left-hand top. So if it is a side, we're going to use this one. But if it is an angle, then we will say sine A over A is equal to sine B over B. So the one that we want to find is in the left-hand top. Now in your textbook, this is now, try now, you'll find it, it starts then there on page 467 where they explain it. And we're looking then now at try now 27, page 468. Page 468. They haven't drawn the triangles for you, so in the first place we're going to draw them so that we can see what we are talking about here. Now it is triangle LMN, and now they say that angle L is 60 degrees, angle M is 34 degrees, so I've got two angles there. LN is 3.8 centimeters, and this is what we need to calculate, MN. So if you look here, you can see I've got a side and an angle, an opposite side and an angle, and the same thing here, the opposite side and the angle. And that's when we're going to use that sine rule. So I'm going to put the one that I want to calculate in the left-hand top. So this is then x over sine 60 degrees, which is equal to 3.8 over sine 34 degrees. So the opposite side and angle, opposite there. Now to calculate it now, this is with algebra that we will do it. I want to find x, so this is going to be 3.8. To get rid of this one here, to have x alone, I will multiply with sine 60. So what I do on the one side, I do on the other side, and then we divide by sine 34 degrees. And that's then just a calculation that we're going to do on our calculators. So 3.8 times sine 60 degrees is equal to divide by sine 34. And I got 5.885. It's also important that we will look at the rounding. So I got here 5.885. Sides are going to be rounded to 3 significant figures. So there is 3 significant figures. Will the 5 influence the 8? Yes. And it becomes then 5.89. 5.89. Right, number B, try now 27. Again, we're drawing the triangle PQR. Now, if I look there, I see that P is actually 120 degrees, so perhaps we can rather draw it like this. That one is 120 degrees, R, and this is then Q. Angle Q is 20 degrees. And PQ 57 centimeters, that one then 57 centimeters, and I have to find RQ. That is what I want to calculate, RQ. Opposite sides, opposite